Hello, everybody. This is Ian, CEO at We Offer Wellness. And this afternoon, it is this afternoon, I'm with Carina. So, hello, Carina.
Hi, hello Ian. Hello everybody. I'm Carina. I'm the founder of the Samadhi Nest. I'm a yoga teacher. Um,
Wonderful.
yes, Ian.
Let's get stuck into that in a minute. Let's find out a bit about you. The accent. So, where's the accent?
The accent. So it's from Portugal. So I was born and raised in Portugal, and then when I was 25, yes, I moved to the UK. So I've been here for nearly 12 years.
And what part of the UK?
So I've lived everywhere. Right now I live in Newcastle, but when I first moved to the UK, I lived in Hull, then I lived in Birmingham, then Durham, and now I'm in Newcastle for the last 3 years, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Carina, I need to ask then, are you missing the beaches and the sea life of Portugal?
Sometimes I do. I really do miss the sun. I think the sun is the thing that I miss the most because in Portugal we take the sun for granted, right? We don't really care about the sun. And now that I live in the UK, I miss the sun all the time. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had a bit more of sun because I've noticed it just gives you such a happy mood when the sun is out. And again, because being a Portuguese person, we take it for granted. We don't realize that. And then you move to a different weather, and it's like, oh my God, the sun is the most amazing thing. I do miss it, but the sun doesn't pay my bills. So, yeah.
Now look, and let's talk about you then. So growing up, there's a bit of a bit of your background in terms of where you were born. And did you live in Portugal on the coastline? So was you by the sea or was you inland?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm from Lisbon originally, so just on the coast. So, and I had the beach like 10 minutes away from home. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, it's look wonderful. And then about you then. So one of the things I like to ask people is with this whole wellness, holistic, spiritual journey that many of us are on and associate ourselves with, where does your story begin, Corinne?
Um, yes, so since I was quite young, I've always had this interest for human behavior, holistic therapies, spirituality. I feel I've always been very much in touch with my spirituality. And then I studied psychology back in Portugal in the university. So I have a degree, a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in educational psychology. Then I started working in mental health and social care contests, and I worked there for like, I would say 12, 13 years. So over a decade, I've been working in social care context. So from then, I've started, realizing the impact that holistic therapies like yoga have. And because I've always been a person who loved movement, I'm a former rhythmic gymnast with the Portuguese national team. So movement for me has always been a big part of my life. And then I found yoga 12 years ago. I completely got hooked up by it. And then I started realizing how beneficial it was, not just for my physical body. I was feeling supple and everything, but, for me, it was the state of mind that I've started noticing that yoga would provide. And then i've had I've started struggling with I've started experiencing burnout and anxiety a bit due to work stress related. And that's when I had some sort of light bulb moment that maybe I should bring yoga to the mental health community, not just the mental health community, but people in general, because all of us, we do experience anxiety, burnout, stress at some point in our lives. So yeah, having worked closer with people throughout these years, I've realized that I could start using yoga as a very strong and powerful tool to help people get back to their body and reconnect with their minds, basically.
Yeah, that's wonderful, isn't it? It's one thing, when we write about what we do and put some photographs up, but when someone actually speaks it out like you've just done there, it breathes the life into your approach to yoga, your 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 obvious love of how the mind works and how the body works, and combining those two elements, and then using a particular modality of yoga to give an opportunity for the body to repair, to heal, to rebalance, to improve. And, I mean, for most people to go through this life and not experience some degree of anxiety or some sort of
Yeah,
stress, well, I don't know who they are, but,
exactly.
yeah, so it's great that you're doing what you're doing in this world. And it sounds like you love doing it as well. It's the helping people, but just, finding that thing that lights you up.
Yeah. Because like for me, I do like working with people, and I've always felt that it was my true calling. But right now, because working in social care, mental health, it can be very stressful for ourselves, not just for the people who are, the patients and the service users, but for the members of staff. It can be a very stressful environment. And this is where I came from. Like, I still want to work with people, but I want to work with them from a different perspective now,
Yeah.
where I'm teaching them yoga. I'm teaching them to open windows of the soul that maybe they weren't open in the past, because we live such in how can I put this, in our society, holistic therapies are still not that incorporated. People still don't look at them in a serious way, and this is what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
with my business. Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't that great? And one of the I have multiple conversations with the Wheel for Wellness practitioners, providers, therapists, instructors, people that really do want to see this in the world and bring them, normalize it, Karina. That one of the things that my wife and I teach is Tai Chi Qigong, and
Wow.
in the West, it's catching on. It's been around for a long, long time. But out in China, when you see those images of all those people in the morning in the parks, it's as normal as just going to get a cup of coffee, and
Yes.
that's what we want, and let's hope that we find that day when on the way to work we see 50 people in the park doing yoga and you're there with them. This hope for the kind of world that we want. Anyway, now I'm going to ask you for a wellness tip, okay? Something that somebody
Yes.
can connect with on a Wednesday morning, and it's like, that's what I need to do today. That's what I need to focus on today. Have you got a wellness tip for us, please?
Yes, so my wellness tip would be, to engage in daily mindful movement, which is, I think it's very important every day to engage in some sort of mindful movement, because it's so beneficial for the mind and the body, even if it's only 5 minutes a day, especially if we are having a very challenging day, because we as human beings, we tend, so when we have a bad day or when we have a challenging day with or a traumatic difficult event in our life, what we tend to do, we just go and like contract the muscles instead of actually like letting it go. So one thing that I like to do, and I advise my students to do, is like at the end of the day, go home and shake it all off, get rid of the bad energies, the bad jujus, like I like to call it, the trapped emotions in the body. Because nowadays we know, we do have this knowledge that the body keeps the score, and that's the title of that book that is been so trendy lately, and it's the reality. We trap everything inside, and we are used to, especially as adults, to like just contract everything, just stay in our minds, and we will be overthinking instead of actually releasing everything. And this is where yoga and movement are so good for good mental health. So this is like my wellness tip.
Absolutely. And I can absolutely envisage a person on that particular Wednesday. That's the thing that's speaking to them. Say, today, you've got to make sure you do that. The day after, it might be some sort of breathing exercise they need to do. The day after that, is just sitting in a chair and shutting their eyes for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Life is wonderful, isn't it? Karina, thank you for being part of We Offer Wellness and being part of what we're trying to build with everybody. And the essence of this, make this normal. Let's not make it a treat or a gift. Let's make it, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So look, wonderful. People,
Completely
please do
agree.
come into the platform, come and find Karina, check out the yoga and all the things that are going on, watch this conversation and make the connection. So Karina, thank you ever so much.
Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you for inviting me for this chat. Bye. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.